all ages. I'm going to ask children to just stay where you are. There's not much room up front, plus you're going to need your hymnals in a little bit. Happy Choir Sunday. Woohoo is right. Choir Sunday is an annual tradition in our congregation, and for good reason. Religion, especially in our Western culture, is so enriched by music. Music can do something for religious feelings and ideas that words and silence can't. And especially in our Christian tradition, it's singing that lifts the spirit, fills the heart, and carries the soul in such deep and profound ways. We can look to the Bible, to the Psalms in the Bible, the book of Psalms. Psalms, of course, which are poems or hymns of praise. We look to the Psalms, and Psalm number 100 begins with these words: "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness, and come before his presence with singing." So when we want to be in a sacred space, when we want to touch a sense of the holy, we can do it with happy, joyful singing. And we do, and we have, and we will. These words inspire us, and in the year 1561, a man named William Keith was inspired by those words, those first verses of the 100th Psalm. He was inspired by those words to turn them into a little mini hymn, if you will, a little mini hymn of praise that we now refer to as a doxology. He took those words and he referenced God with the word Lord, and he did this. I'm going to sing it for you with a little starting note. All people that on earth do dwell, sing to the Lord with cheerful voice. Him serve with mirth, his praise forth tell. Come ye before him and rejoice. You may have noticed the word mirth in there. It's not a word we use as much as perhaps William Keith did 450 years ago, but mirth is joyful, happy, laughter-filled kind of presence, happiness, mirth. So that was William Keith's doxology. And that tune, I'm just curious for a show of hands, how many people have heard that tune? There is a sea of raised hands. 450 years. That tune has had staying power in our culture. But as the years went by, as the centuries went by, the theology changed a little bit. And in the year 1719, along came a man named Isaac Watts. Here's what he looked like. We're giving you a sense now. This is much more recently than William Keith. But Isaac Watts was a minister in England in 1719, a minister and a prolific hymn writer. He actually, I learned last night from a musical friend that he put all of the Psalms to music, and he composed some 750 hymns, and he decided that the doxology needed some new, more Christian words. It was missing Jesus, he felt. So he came up with some new words and listened for reference to God as the creator and Jesus as the Redeemer. From doxology in 1719. Well, theology and religious ideas develop with time, and I don't know when, but there came a time when Unitarians decided we don't need to reference God or Jesus specifically, but we like the essence of what Isaac Watts has done with the doxology. So pull out a hymnal right now and turn to number 381. You'll find that 381 is just words. This is based on what Isaac Watts did, and just so you see how this works, the tune I'm singing, if you flip back a page, is number 371. But the words at 381 and all the other sets of words that precede it fit perfectly with the tunes of 371 and 372 and 373, but we're sticking with 371 today. And you are going to join me in singing this modification of Isaac Watts's doxology. So with Lisa's accompaniment, we'll sing it together, number 381. It seems to have begun to dissolve in our worship sometime in the 60s and 70s. But a lot of you are familiar with this tune because it's all over Western Christianity and Protestantism in particular. I want us to see a little bit more what people have done with this doxology theologically and have a little fun with the two sets of words that we see on the preceding page, 378 and 379. Those are both words from this man, Kenneth Patton. He's a more contemporary looking guy. He's a 20th century guy. His words were composed in 1980, so for many of us, a time when we were alive. He was a Universalist minister. And let's just see a little bit what he thought about who we are, why we are, what the world is, what religiousness looks like from a Universalist perspective. And we'll sing 378 and 379 back to back. Listen to the words, ride his words as you sing. Who can find the text that's different? And what language do you recognize it? Spanish. we have a text in Spanish. I'm wondering what comments you have about why we would have a doxology text in Spanish.
It's loco.
Translation, please.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. There are a lot of Spanish speakers. My understanding is that at least a third of all households in America speak Spanish in the home. If we look forward in time, the Spanish-speaking population in this part of the world is growing and will continue to grow. I like to believe that we've got a Spanish text in here, which is pretty much a translation of number 381 that we just sang. This is where the world is going. Spanish is growing, and Lisa has agreed to help us with the pronunciation, but I'm curious how many people are comfortable with the Spanish. Look at that, yay! Maybe we don't need it, Lisa, what do you think? It wouldn't hurt, oh, she said. Let's have it. Let's be in the spirit of inclusiveness. You want to come with a little coaching? And those of you who are comfortable with the Spanish, you got to sing out on this one. Be sure your neighbors can hear, but let's hear some pronunciation. So.
De todos bajo el gran sol.
De todos bajo el gran sol.
Surja esperanza y fe amor.
Surja esperanza de amor.
Verdad y belleza cantando.
Verdad y belleza cantando.
De cada tierra, cada voz.
De cada tierra, cada voz.
We're going to sing it all together now in the spirit of where the world is going with a little accompaniment, and in the spirit of where the world has come from. Some of you might feel in your spirits a little sense at the end of maybe should I sing Amen? That's what I grew up with. That's what some of us grew up with. You were invited to join in an Amen, which, as you noticed, has been dropped off. But we'll bring it back today and catch the past and the future all at once. 382. Amen to you all for the singing, for the praise, for the mirth. Amen.